Watch this.
Watch what?
The watching show.
Woo! All right. Button. And hopefully I'm not missing anything, but maybe we are. That's why I wish we had the freaking. That's what you get with a free game. What do you expect? Let's just assume there's nothing to skip right now.
Yeah, there's not going to be. We're in the middle of Miku's
yeah, thank you for the
playthrough.
reminder. All right. Somebody was peering at me from behind the tree. Right away, we're treated to the good stuff. We both looked at each other like,
Yeah, this is one of the things I knew.
Oh, you knew it.
Yeah, but I didn't know it was going to be her.
It was Oleana. No, not Oleana, but something that looked like her. I froze in my tracks. Choo-choo. Half of her face was torn and hanging down in shreds. Her grinning jaw trembled nervously as in laughter, a bloodshot eye hanging half out of its socket. Suddenly swiveled its pupil to look at me. That's kind of interesting how they had this really grotesque description, but they had to like compromise with the picture and go, okay, we can't actually draw that. So what do we draw?
It's not bad.
It's
a
all
little
right.
creepy.
It's good. I stopped breathing. It felt like I was going to die right now due to the shock. Savior! The thing that seemed to be Oyana was calling to me. My legs began to give out. I tried hard not to collapse, tried to scream, tried to run away.
This is a perfect time for it.
I was going to make that joke. I was like, ugh. But I was like, this is just going to keep doing it if I remind him. But my consciousness had already left my body, and now that was just a ragdoll moving by the will of invisible puppet master. One more second, and... Oh, sorry, is that you?
You go ahead.
No,
you go ahead.
Wait, no, you do it.
Okay.
Because she's a fast talker. Is that a double space? No. I instinctively turned toward the word, caught sight of Masha standing on the porch, and then instantly looked back to Uliana. But she was gone. Masha seemed to notice the deathly pallor upon my face and jumped over to me in the blink of an eye.
What would happen?
I just saw Uliana. I pointed my finger toward the tree. Sure, the sight of the butchered Slavia was indeed gruesome, but at least she was dead and not walking around in broad daylight with her face torn apart, and she wasn't calling me by name, even if the name wasn't my own. The last ounces of my strength deserted me, and I collapsed to my knees.
Where?
My knees! Masha was shaking me by the shoulders.
Stop.
It wasn't her. That was, I don't know. She's shaking
You're
me.
going to give me shaking adult syndrome.
Get out of yourself.
She slammed the door in my face. Our relationship has become reciprocal. That slap was really funny.
The camera shakes a little
She
bit.
slapped my ass. Brought that joke full circle too. Oh, sorry, no, grab my ass. I felt a round arm slap hit me in the face and gave Masha a questioning look. My cheek burned, but I slowly started to regain my composure. Uliana was there with her face. Basically, it was a zombie. Yeah, zombie Uliana. The most irrational explanation I can give. Masha looked at me dumbfounded.
Anything could happen here.
Yeah, if you'd seen her yourself.
Thank God I did. Come on, I'll get you some water. That'll help with the zombies.
Yeah, the water is. That's it.
It's the Signs
It's a
movie
zombie.
with Mel Gibson. The water is their weakness.
Right.
Yeah.
A zombie, quick, get water. I described my encounter with that creature in detail to everyone.
I can tell you one thing. Science can't explain whatever's going on here at the moment.
Science, it's outrageous devilry happening here. The hand of Satan. I wish we had a church nearby to light a candle.
I noticed like the
Is
last
that what churches are for?
the last playthrough or two, you with Alyssa's voice, it's gotten more quivering Southern Belle, and it's got
sort of like this.
I thought about it to myself in the head and just thinking that's funny. Just I don't know. It just started to come. That's why, because she's been scared, and you started doing it that way, and you just kind of been carrying it on, and I think it's funny.
Yeah, because whenever she does that face is when I've been doing it specifically. When she does the other one, I just kind of talk like this.
Sass in my neck with now.
Exactly, but when she ever does this like arms crossed, sad facing, I was like, oh, do I like this?
Lena said nothing, crying. I almost completely recovered and I was able to think straight. Now it's perfectly clear that we have to get out of here.
Well, I'm not a real scientist, so don't listen to me at all. That no, a paranormalist, but if I recall correctly, all these demons and spirits are bound to a certain place. Therefore, if we get away from this place...
And then it plays that slap sound effect. Masha slapped her out there in the face. Snap out of it.
No, that's an excellent solution.
Masha grinned skeptically. I agree, I exclaimed, ignoring her ass.
Agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lena just barely noticed the. Yeah, so it's all settled. I slayed my fist on the table. It shows the camera shake and plays the noise and surged to my feet.
Hold on. It's not like we all agreed on that.
Shut up, Masha. I decided. Why would we hesitate? I seriously wouldn't want a second encounter with the thing like that.
Where will we go? Do you even realize how long it would take to reach the city on foot?
It'll take a long time ago, and I don't know where we'll go. You know that song, that Cotton Eye Joe? That's what my friend's saying. Damn it.
They spelled damn it differently this time than they used to spell it.
Yeah. Damn it. Do you really think that nobody ever rides that road? A car, a bus, whatever. We'll get something eventually. That's the, hey. Hey.
I wouldn't be so sure.
So you think that it's better to stay here?
Well, I didn't say that.
It's scary here, especially at night. Lena whispered loudly.
That still doesn't mean we have to go anywhere.
Said Masha out loud with her mouth. I gave her a very angry look for talking out loud. No, something has truly changed her. Perhaps I should have a gentle talk with her about it. Or perhaps I shouldn't. Maybe she's also... Okay, let's take a vote. I said in a quiet and confident tone, yet I still had my doubts. What if Masha's right? Perhaps we shouldn't be running around aimlessly. On the one hand, I have no idea what awaits us beyond the gates of this camp. On the other hand, it's really all hell breaking loose out there.
Okay.
She shrugged, and still I won't stand for another minute here. Leaving!
Stay.
Let's-
Let's try it. Maybe we'll indeed get lucky and catch a ride.
Leaving.
Everyone turned their eyes toward Lena. Oh, I don't want to stay here. It seemed like no, let's go. Well, I sprang to my feet. Everyone else remained seated with their heads down. Since we decided...
Well, since we decided...
Masha got up slowly and looked at me.
What about our stuff?
Alyssa asked awkwardly.
Do you really think that we should care now?
Mumbled Ralter gloomily.
Well, you're probably right.
Well, in my case, my stuff has already vanished somewhere. Uh-oh. What did they vote?
I don't know. I wasn't paying
I
attention.
thought they were going to split
I
up.
just was reading it.
I wasn't paying attention to the words. I was just reading them. You should try it. In a few minutes, we were standing at the bus stop.
The city's that way.
Masha gestured at the horizon.
No, the sun is that way.
You're right.
That's great. It was there the day before yesterday. I grinned.
Yeah, that way.
Router confirmed. We paused in
I
silence.
can smell the tracks.
We paused in silence. There are fewer mooses in that direction, therefore that's the city.
The city. The moose are calling to me though, so I will be going the other way.
We paused in silence for a few moments and then slowly headed off toward our destination. The summer sun was unbearably scorching, making the asphalt melt. Everything a few hundred meters.
Making the asphalt melt. What are you talking about?
I was streaming with sweat and was starting to think that I was getting sunstroke. Sure, it would have been a great idea to bring more water with us, but back when we were setting, English was getting our asses. Huh! I guess the first time I've seen the word ass in this game. Getting our asses as far as possible from that damned camp. Eventually, I felt like I was about to lose consciousness.
I fell asleep.
I haven't understood coming. I felt for the first time I realized how tired I was. Yeah. Only the wretched thrills of grasshoppers kept me in touch with reality. Of course, this hellish noon is indeed their favorite part of the day. They couldn't care less about scorching heat, zero humidity, and the lack of any kind of air movement. On the contrary, they felt great. It was perfect backdrop for the final act of their last apocalyptic symphony. We probably should have stayed in the camp after all, or at least we should have started this hike later, closer to the evening. Although wandering the countryside at night is hardly a good idea either. The sound of a stifled cry came from behind me.
Ow! I mean...
Yeah, who do you think it is?
Oh, my God. Oh.
I'm so sorry. That's good. I would guess it's Uliana or Olga.
I don't know.
100 feet away, Alyssa was barely holding up Lena, keeping her from collapsing to the ground. Oh, it's gonna be another horrified person or a disgusting person. Oh my God! I dashed up to them. What's the matter?
She's fainted.
Oh, never mind. It's just Lena. I helped to carry Lena to the roadside. There was at least some shade from a small grove.
It concludes our hike.
Said Marsh in a gloomy mood, sinking down into the grass.
Fuck.
Fine, but what does it change now? We've been traveling for at least a couple hours, so thinking of heading back to the camp was pointless. Well, at least until evening, when the heat will decrease a bit.
And we still haven't seen a single car. They've all been taken.
They're all paired up. I turned around and looked at Ralter. He pulled off his shirt.
Do it again.
Please,
do it again.
Please.
Do it again, please.
Out of it. No, they're not going to do it. That'd be too goddamn comedic.
That'd be
But
perfect.
Fuck, that'd be funny. It's the same picture with some sweat drops drawn on his chest. At least was trying to revive Lena. If that's sunstroke,
Stop!
she shouted at me. If that's indeed sunstroke, we've gotten ourselves into deep shit. She won't make it anywhere. I walked toward the road, shielded my eyes from the sun with my hand, and started to stare into the distance. Nothing but the same asphalt thread leading beyond the horizon with no signs of civilization.
Is that spelled right? Civilization?
Civilize? No.
That doesn't look right.
It's a Z.
I think
not,
it's a Z, not an S.
Yes, a Z.
Civilization.
Good catch. Any signs of human presence at all. It was like we were the only people left, not only in the camp, but the whole world. Though if you think about what has happened here, it's really got a big surprise.
The whole world.
You know
Not
that
big surprise. Yeah. I hate all the orphans in the whole world.
Not big surprise. Yeah. So there's a couple of quotes stuck in there. I went back to the others and sat down on the log. I guess we'll have to scout ahead. I looked at Ralter to check what's ahead. Maybe we could find something and just stay here for a while.
But
She can't go anywhere right now anyway. Lynn was lying with her eyes close to for air.
Okay, go ahead.
Said Masha calmly. It just occurred to me that I planned to have to talk with her, but it's definitely not the right time for that now. Let's go. Router shrugged his shoulders and followed me. So he suspects Masha of treachery. We kept walking about for 15. The girls were left far behind.
what do you think? Any chance of us meeting somebody?
He asked quietly. I don't know. I replied in an annoying tone. I really wanted to refrain from talking right now. The endless fields stretched to the horizon, sparsely speckled patches of trees and hills. The landscape looked so typical and tranquil that, in fact, it caused anxiety. If we'd found ourselves in the plains of hell, at least we would expect to be attacked from anywhere just like... Now we felt like just a couple little droplets of paint on the canvas of the nameless painter whose name is somewhere. Where we are now. All this made our fear stronger. Yelled the moose face. I narrowed my eyes and saw the road took a turn. So what's so special?
There must be a moose there.
What makes you think that?
Well, since there is a turn, we've been walking straight forward all the time, and now
That makes no
the moose
sense.
is behind us.
Let's go. Look. Creepy music. Woo woo woo.
What? Back where they came from?
I have no idea why. This is literally where the camp is. So I don't know what the hell's going on. In a few minutes, we finally came to the gates of the Soviet time. It sounds like you're right. I collapsed out the curb and buried my face in my hands. Oh, darn you all to heck! I didn't feel scared. In fact, I didn't feel any emotions at all. Just the fatigue and the void inside of me.
But how?
Mumbled the router. Oh wow! I just had a cool thought. What if there are clones of this place with clones in them?
That'd be cool and creepy.
A cool.
One of the
idea.
two things that I knew was the zombies. I know.
Well, fuck! I didn't know she was actually a zombie.
Yeah, that's what it said she was.
I didn't think it was being literal. I thought it wasn't explained what's actually going on.
No, well, what else would it
Whatever.
be?
As long as I was meant to understand that she's an actual
Yeah,
zombie, it's okay
yeah.
for you to have told me that. But I didn't know that, so.
Well, all I knew was the zombie.
Oh my gosh. Okay. No idea. Besides, what's the difference anyway? It's not like there's any stranger thing that. I looked up at him feeling exhausted. Router's lips were trembling. And it shows that picture of him with the shirt, but it's like animating the lips. Because he had those puffer lips. Plaster. Okay, let's go back and fetch the girls. I didn't wait
Go
for
get
him.
him.
I left him, I guess.
Anything?
Asked Masha, chewing on some strawberries of uncertain origin. I did. A camp.
What can?
She looked surprised. Our camp. Masha looked so silly now. I couldn't help flashing an ironic smile.
But you were going forward, not backward.
Forward. And Sobinak is there.
Hey, stop joking.
She exclaimed. I'm dead serious.
But
Said Alyssa quietly. She was sitting down on the grass and cradling the head of Lana, who was still sleeping. Yeah, just like... Whoops. I said entirely and dropped down to the ground.
okay, it means we're heading there.
I looked at Masha keenly and suddenly realized that I can't wait anymore. Hey, what's
I gotta
happening?
pee. Move your face.
Where you at? What's going on with you?
What do you mean?
Her look screamed that now.
Her look screamed.
Breezy banter. You were scared to death yesterday, yet today you have this happens to me all the time attitude.
What's the point in panicking?
She cracked a barely visible smile. If I didn't know you, I would quiet. I bit my lip and turned away. But really, do I know her that well? Sure, we spent so many years together, but if you get down to it, I always thought about myself more, or rather, I'd always believe that she was completely satisfied, if you know what I mean. She was always the same to me. The time, it just about the same at just about anything, even when we were breaking up, as if she wasn't a real person, just my favorite article of clothing. I couldn't think of a good pun. Thinking about it, I have no idea what's going on in her soul. I've just never cared about it. Thus, her behaving like this under the circumstances, seemed more bizarre than anything else that's happened to us. And if you think about that talk at the beach evening 2 weeks ago, she's probably stronger than me.
Hey, listen to me, Yad.
Oh, sorry, I got carried away. So much has happened. She looked at me sternly.
Let's go to Canada. Let's go to this table again.
All right. In fact, it's not like we had any choice before this was Scout's taste.
But you have to carry her along.
I don't know why that tickled me so much. Why do we have to carry it? Just popped in the conversation. It's like part of the word. Like, the way you did it was.
Well, you have to carry it along.
Imagine. Okay, quick story. When I worked at Starbucks drive-thru, there was a funny girl there, Brittany Shout, I think was her name, and she used to stick in the word meow. So that's the thing that people have done. All right, a latte meow with. She just puts the word in there.
Yeah.
One day she got caught, and it was funny. That's the short story. But anyway, it'd be funny to stick in pops progressively until someone finally goes, what is that? What are you doing? But you could get away with it for a while.
Well, I think they'd think it was like some sort of tick.
Right, until you did so much. Like every other word, it's like clearly it's a purpose now. Hey, do you like go as far as you have to until someone finally goes, what is that?
What is that from? It's
SpongeBob.
What are you doing?
It'd be fun
today?
to be like in a group of people, like you and me and as a group of people, and I go, okay, let's take a bet. Which one do you think is going to call you out first? We each pick one.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fun.
And then you do the pop thing throughout the conversation. You just progress until someone finally
that would be fun.
That was right.
Yeah.
They called it first.
I know a group of twin brothers who once created their own language, like simple language.
Hickaboo.
Well, they basically it was a bunch of weird sounds and stuff, but they would communicate. They could communicate simple ideas in that language, and so they'd get in groups with people, and they'd just start going, "Oh, get that bacon, get that boat," and then people be like, "What?" and they'd be like, "Oh, get that boat," and they just like start talking. It was very funny. I was like,
That's
"Man, that'd
awesome.
be awesome!" Just freak people
You know,
out.
it's funny. We don't need to be twins, but it would help. But we should have that.
Well, hey, if we go to sign language class, then we can do it.
Doesn't count. People would know.
Yeah, but
it has to be a legit new language, and it has to sound dumb. That would help.
Yeah, burr.
That's funny. Just pause. Bing.
They're like, that means yes. Bing.
Okay, sorry, we're getting attracted, but that's just really funny. All right.
But you have to carry her along.
Yes, just a sec. Let me figure it out. I found
I figured it out.
Fades back in. I figured it out.
Yeah.
I found two fairly long and sturdy sticks in a nearby grove. Coming back, I ordered Router to take his shirt. Why? Please show the picture.
That would be so funny.
He tried to object, but soon enough he realized that there was no use in arguing. Do it. I took off my shirt as well. We made a sort of sweatshirt.
That'd be so funny.
Okay.
Man.
Oh, man.
Will it hold me?
Masha gave our advice a questioning look, but ultimately gave a few strong pulls, ensuring its strength, and smiled. It will, at least until we reach the camp.
That's what she said.
It will until we reach the camp?
She gave it a few pulls, the whole thing.
Okay.
Give it a few pulls. Is it strong enough to hold us till camp? It was like all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was hard to go in this heat, but it was even harder to carry the injured. That is Lana.
That's what she said.
Something that's explicitly not sexual in any context. You go, that's what she said. Several times I almost fainted.
That's what she said. Sorry.
And barely caught myself halfway to the ground. Router felt even worse. Both Mosh and Alyssa were swapping places.
That's what she said.
That's good. I was going to say swapping saliva, but yours was better. Places. Still, my pride won't allow me to ask them to carry Lena for even a minute. Sure, it's silly to act like this under these circumstances, but I couldn't help myself. This is yet another flaw in my personality, along with the coldness and attentiveness to the others, even my loved ones, and other less than noble traits.
I'm awful.
I'm a piece of shit. Finally, we somehow made it to the camp gates. You mean the ones that were kind of like right there? and I collapsed to the grass in the shadow of the unknown pioneer statue, completely worn out.
It actually is our camp.
Masha lingered on the
And
words.
indeed, it looks the same. We have to carry her to to a cabin.
Alyssa mentioned quietly, "Yeah, I got it with considerable effort and prepared for the last run." A run? The obvious choice was Olga Dmitrievna's cabin, most likely because we managed to come through the last night here without major problems. At least we are still alive. Me and Ralter were sprawled exhausted on one bed, and the girls were undressing Lena on the other.
Don't look.
Said Masha sternly. "It's not like there's anything else to look at." I snorted and turned. That's not what he said, but I wanted to say it. I snorted and turned away, giving Ralter a harsh poke in the ribs. I read nuts. I don't know why. A harsh poke in the nuts, making him follow my lead. Poke in the nuts.
We're gonna get some water and probably rummage the canteen too.
It's dangerous to go alone. Take this.
Wanna come
She
along?
grinned. "Oh yeah, we need to talk." No, well I guess not. No thanks. At least take that pipe with you.
That's what she said.
Yeah. There it is.
You really think you will help?
That's a new picture. I sighed heavily. I sighed heavily and closed my eyes. "Well, be careful." The door closed after a second. She did it to me. She closed the door in my face while I was talking.
I'm so proud.
It's kind of like poetry. You see, it rhymes.
You asleep?
Router whispered into my ear. Because they're in a bed together, I think. They're sprawled out on one bed together.
Router licked my
He
ear.
kissed my neck and whispered in my ear, "You awake?" As if one could sleep here. All at once, I heard Lena moan from the other bed. Oh, that's me, I guess. I sat up on my elbows and looked at her. She was so naked. Lena was tossing and turning under the blanket. Suddenly, she opened her eyes and abruptly turned to face me. She's not a zombie, right? That'd be stupid. Maybe the devil's grimace froze on her face. The same one I saw yesterday evening. "Hot enough for you?" She burst into laughter. I felt a shiver run down my spine. My ability to speak vanished. Ew.
What?
Asked Router through his sleep. He was asleep? I turned to him sharply. "Look!" I waved my hands, pointing at Lena's bed.
What?
Yeah, what? He got up and looked where I was pointing, but then back at me. I turned and just saw Lena sleeping peacefully. Okay, so everyone's doing this two-faced shit where they're looking to me like, "Ugh," and then no one else
Well,
sees
Lena
it.
is.
No, Uliana kind of did it too.
Well, Uliana's a zombie.
I don't know. I mean, like she showed up, but no one else saw it, and now I'm trying to go look, and then they're gone.
Oh, I get it.
Didn't you hear it?
What?
Her Lena was awake and said,
"Oh, it seems like you've got sunstroke too. Use this moisturizer."
"Moisturizer, come on."
Moose.
He turned toward the wall, but I'm absolutely sure that I heard and saw it. Well, it could be true that the heat just got to me at last, but it also seems to be exactly like that time. And it wasn't Lena, and at the very least, it's not like Lena I knew. She was possessed by the devil, which is objectively hot. Because the devil and Satan and hell. I lay down and pulled a blanket over my head. I really wanted to sleep, but the realization that I might never wake up again, even if I fell asleep now, was keeping me up and running. I'm not sure how long I spent lying like that, trembling at every rustle, but eventually the door just burst open and steps resounded in the room. I barely peered out from under the blanket to catch a glimpse of Alyssa and Masha entering with a black bucket of water and some bags.
I see you went a bit cuckoo here.
"Yeah, sorta," I replied with a trembling voice trying to flash a smile. "Everything's okay?"
Seems like it.
I glanced up at Lena yet again, and she was still sleeping quietly. The psuka. Maybe it was indeed just my imagination. Sure, given the condition of such extreme emotional stress, I got up with considerable... So, what are we going to do next?
We'll have to stay here for now. But Olga Dmitrievna has called the police.
Shit, we can't be here when the police show up.
Fuck the pigs. Joke.
Yeah, but everyone disappeared after that.
In any case, until Lena comes to her senses, although if Alyssa laid down on Lena's bed and Masha sat down next to me.
Get some sleep.
She gently stroked the top of my head.
I came. Sorry.
Wrong head. Can you really sleep with all this happening?
Okay, God, you look really tired.
She's evil as fuck. Masha is evil as fuck. Lena's evil, but Masha's evil too. That's what I think.
That'd be cool.
I guess she was right. But that That's what I think. That's what I want because I think it's the most satisfactory. If the person you trust the most is the most evil and you don't get an actual thing with Masha, she's just like, whatever. And that's what I want.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Okay, but just a nap. Wake me before evening. She didn't say a word, just smiled instead, all menacingly. Promise. I replied Masha quietly. But I fell asleep before she could finish. Oh, it's a dream. Is it a grasshopper dream?
Strawberry dream again.
Here they
Oh,
come
the
again,
grasshoppers.
This time it's their king, a huge swamp green monstrosity. I'm describing what the grasshopper looks like. He said something to me, but something about the news and describing the atmosphere. My bones cracking. Oh, I'm being killed.
They used the bubble wrap attack against us.
That's morbid. All right.
Oh, it's dark.
Good. I jumped up into cold sweat. My own scream still reverberated in the room. It took me several seconds to clear the dimness from my eyes. I looked around frantically and realized that it was evening already, and it was completely dark outside. Good grief. We didn't turn off the light yesterday. Masha was lying asleep next to me while Router was curled up on the floor. Okay, I was like, so all three of you in bed? But he's on the floor. Lena was lying on the other bed, tightly wrapped in the blanket. Yet Alyssa was nowhere to be seen. Hey! I woke up Masha with a few rough prods. What? She slowly came to her senses. Didn't I ask you?
Sorry, I fell asleep.
She had such a guilty expression on her face that I felt sick. I shouldn't have relied on her. At least I could have set up an alarm. I woke Walter. Where's Alyssa?
I don't know.
Said Marshall worriedly. Well, what the fuck?
Oh, she's sleeping here, man.
Her eyes darted around guiltily. And then you fell asleep. She hung her head and let out a heavy sigh. Oh, perfect. Just perfect. Did you fart?
No, that was the game. It was her slamming the fist on the table.
Oh, I heard a fart noise.
No, it was.
Okay. I pounded my fist on the table, making Masha jump. Bitch! Let's go find her! Alone! Her face suddenly took on the expression of fright. Alone! Wasn't it you who told me that it's not worth panicking?
Yeah, but it's not.
Okay, fine. I'll go alone. Or do you really want to sit here with only Lena? Masha kept silent.
It is dangerous to go alone.
You gotta say it in the melody.
Take this.
There you go. I noticed that the routers seemed to have fully awakened.
It was moose piss.
It's not dangerous for her to sit alone.
My finest piss.
My finest piss.
My finest moose piss.
It's my finest
Take it.
moose piss.
It's yours. Do with it what heroes do. I don't know.
I couldn't think of it either. Yep. I grabbed my trusty pipe and got the balls out of it. In case get the people just bringing them. Still trying to Alyssa anyway. All right, let's go find Alyssa to the toilet, I guess. These guys can just stay here, and I'm gonna go alone.
Bam.
Here we go. See, I read that much faster that way. Speaking of which, I think we gotta stop it there.
All right.
I was grabbing. Immediately got greeted with a special fun slide of like a zombie. Like, hey, shit's going on.
Yeah. Alyssa's gonna be dead. That's my bet.
Oh yeah, balls.
I hope so.
Super dead. But if they die at this rate, it's gonna be a long freaking playthrough.
I think so.
This has been damn slow.